Ah, damn it! Man, it's a good day to be a gamer. How do I know that? Well, I've got this little sheet of paper here that says I, Dudeski Duder, am indeed a Mountain Dew drinking, no shower taking, never been touched by a woman gamer! It says it right here on this piece of paper. And there's only two things you have to do to become a gamer like me. The first one is not doing the devil's tango with anyone. And let me tell you something. If having sex is a dance, I've got 8 feet, and all of them are leftists. And the second certification is you having to have played Undertale. Now, don't tell the council this, but I've actually never played Undertale. But it doesn't really matter. It's not like they've chipped my house and are listening to every single thing I'm saying right now. Oh look, I've got some mail! Oh boy, I hope it's a loving family that respects my opinions. God only knows I need one of those. Violation. Dude man, Dudeski Duder. We have been informed that you have not played Undertale. As mentioned in the fine print of your certification, we have to take legal action. Play the game and make a video essay explaining the inner workings of the game in the next 48 hours or your life will be void. Sincerely, the council. Oh, so that's what a pipe bomb looks like. In a typical RPG, you would kill monsters, animals, sometimes even humans to level up. And the consequences of this are never addressed. But, what if they were? Undertale released on September 15th, 2015 by indie developer Toby Fox and was a massive success upon release. Toby did most of the heavy lifting, making most of the music, writing the dialogue for the game, tackling the programming aspect, and making some of the art for the game. He basically came up with the idea after envisioning Mr. Bean, early internet humor, Brandish for the SNES, and Earthbound spending a night together, and so he got to work. With his background in making ROM hacks for Earthbound and being able to play both the trumpet and the piano, he set out to make Undertale. His friend Temmie Chang took on the work of character design, and after throwing a demo of his game on Kickstarter and requesting a humble $5,000, they were off. What they didn't realize is that they would receive over $50,000 because people really liked this game. Toby even threw in some characters based on some of the highest donors' ideas. The game was slated to come out in mid-2014, but Toby decided to delay the game to September 15th, 2015, because it needed just a little bit more time in the oven. And that's basically it for the build-up to release. There's obviously a bit more, but I honestly really need to start playing this game and get this target off of my back, or they are going to blow up my house. Oh, hi. I was just looking at my gamer certification and how it's all going to be gone if I don't make this video essay. But dealing with this death threat has made me realize something. If this game is good enough to warrant actually making death threats over, it just might be worth a shot. In $9.99 for one of the greatest video games of all time, why not? I mean, what was I going to do with the money? Buy 4 copies of Hentai World for Nintendo Switch? Nah, that would be ridiculous. So Undertale is a cartoon RPG about a kid falling down a hole in a mountain and trying to get back home. Along the way, they discover that the underground is filled with monsters. It has a very MS Painty art style, and you could choose to spare or kill all of the characters that you encounter along the way. At least that's what the trailer made it out to be. The thing is, while all those things are true, that's just the hook that draws you in. Undertale in actuality is a work of subversive brilliance. Undertale looks like a happy game about a kid going on an adventure on the surface, but in reality it's an emotionally effective, well-written, heavy story that is all driven by the choices that you've made. And your choices actually matter. Like, no joke, for real, on God. You see, in most choice-driven games, like for instance something like a Telltale game, if you choose to save someone in an early chapter, they will most likely die in a later chapter because it's too expensive to keep having that character in the game if not everyone's going to experience that pathway. This makes it so that these games don't feel widely different when you replay them. Their endings also aren't that different either, if they even have different endings. Undertale isn't like that. Yes, if you do a mix of sparing and killing every monster, you will always get the neutral ending, but if you choose to spare everyone, like I did, you get the pacifist ending. Now before I go any further, I'm going to have to spoil the game. But here's the thing. Most people don't play this game because they've had it spoiled for them at one point or another. They're always told to go into it blind, but then they watch a video like this one and then they don't play it because they think the game won't be good because they've watched somebody play it. So the magic will be gone. I watched somebody play this game years ago. I didn't play this game because of the reason I just said. And wouldn't you know it, I played it and I loved every second of it. If you haven't played this game before because you got it spoiled for you at one point or another, play it. It is an amazing experience no matter if you've seen it or not. This is one of the few games I would say you absolutely have to experience for yourself and cannot be done just by watching someone play it. It has to be played by you to get the full experience. Quit coming up with excuses. It's $9.99 for one of the greatest experiences out there. Play it. Anyway, with that little rant out of the way, let's get into the nitty and possibly even the gritty of Undertale. Undertale has different endings. The ones I experienced were the pacifist and truth pacifist, and these are the endings that I recommend getting. These endings are hard to get, but they're worth it. At the end of the pacifist run, you fight Flowey after you screwed with the game's code. Every time you die, he crashes the game, and you have to launch it again, and again, and again. God, this fight was fucking annoying. But, through your determination, you are able to beat him, and if you spare him, he tells you how to get the true pacifist ending. Once you reload your save and redo all the things that he tells you to do, he takes control of all the characters you've met up to this point and tries to destroy everything. In my opinion, kind of a dick move, but whatever. But as you fight, you are able to pull the souls of your friends out, and with their help, you save Flowey. He realizes that while he will never be whole again, he can do what's right, and by using the power of everyone's determination, he rebuilds the destroyed world and makes it whole again. He destroys the barrier, keeping monsters down in the underground, and after you give him a hug, if you are a heartless piece of shit, you wake up and you are able to go back to the surface and live happily ever after. Now some of you might be like, monsters, oh no, but don't worry, as this is a very sloppy transition into me talking about the writing, and hoo boy, it's good. The writing in this game, Jesus, it's fantastic. These characters are some of the best written characters in any game I've ever played. Toriel is an overprotective mother, Sans is a jokester, but can get dead serious when he needs to be. Papyrus is obsessed with joining the Royal Guard, until he isn't, because he realizes that through your actions, all humans are not terrible. Undyne is a fish lady that wants to kill you until you run away from her and save her from dehydration. Alfie is the main demographic for people that watch slice of life anime. Metaton is an entertainment robot that gets turned into a killer robot that actually is revealed he never got turned into a murder robot, but then turns into a murder robot because he realizes that murdering a human would actually be a really good show.
Oh, yes.
And Asgore is one of the most caring characters in the game, and he only fights you because he needs one more human soul to break through the barrier between the surface and the underground. He really wants his kingdom to see the light of day in, like, I don't know, forever, and that seems like a pretty good excuse to fight and kill a child, in my opinion. Now, what was that, like 7 characters? Just now, I didn't Google any of that. I just remembered it off the top of my head because the writing in this game is so gosh dang goodly good. There's others too. There's a ghost that doesn't want to bother anyone, so he just lies around and he thinks he's useless, but ends up saving you at one point in the game. The Royal Guard are 2 bros just doing bro things, and when you spare them, they go out and have a bro ice cream, and they're bros. Dummy is a ghost that lives in a dummy, and he wants to kill you because his cousin is also a ghost that lives in a dummy, and you scared them out of their dummy by talking to them, and he has the best song of the game as his theme, and I don't care what you think, you can fight me over this. And so many more that I'm not going to name because I'm tired of getting footage for them, but I think you get the idea. This game is well written. These characters are all nuanced and have relationships with each other. They all come across as goofy and extremely human, more than any game I've ever played. And that's really funny because these are all monsters, not humans. And the music is just the icing on the cake. Oh boy, it's like, guys, hey, listen to me. Listen to me right now. Whisper Dusky mode right now. It's really good. Like super, just This is a perfect game soundtrack. And what I mean by this is a soundtrack that perfectly fits the game that it's in, and it's something I can listen to outside of the game. Very few soundtracks can accomplish this, and even fewer have music that actually feels like it fits all of the characters, places, and scenes. But Undertale passes this exam with flying colors. Every place, every fight, every day is made better by the soundtrack, and you could not replace a single part of its implementation because it's all perfect. God, what drug do I have to take to design a game like this, Toby Fox? Because I will happily get addicted to it if it means I can make music as good as this. The only sad thing about the music is that you can't experience all of it in just one playthrough. In fact, if you want to listen to all of it, you might just have to kill everyone to do it. As mentioned before, Undertale has different endings, one of which being the complete opposite to the pacifist run. I'm of course talking about the genocide run, where you literally have to kill everyone that you meet. This is about the only moral choice system in any game that actually has any real weight behind it, because it actually has consequences, and isn't just the same game with a red color scheme instead of a white one. I'm looking at you, Infamous. Disregard any picture of this game that I've painted to you up until this point. The Genocide Run is almost a completely different game entirely, where you are a horrible killer that brings to the world of monsters nothing but destruction and despair. And the thing is, this game is ready for this, and does the only thing that it can. Do you remember the funny skeleton man Sans that I talked about earlier? Do you remember how I mentioned that he can get dead serious when the plot needs it? Well, here it is. The final boss character this time around is Sans, and he's aware that other playthroughs of this game exists, so he does the only thing he can to stop you, that being making a fight so hard and ultimately so boring that the player just gives up and goes away, leaving the monster world in tatters, but ultimately still there and not completely wiped off the map. Sans pleads with you, knowing that you, the player, are ultimately only doing this for their own entertainment. In his own words, committing genocide because you think you can, and because you can, you have to. But he can only stall you for so long, and if you are able to push past him and get to the ending, something befitting of your terrible actions await. The character that you've been playing as up until this point starts talking to you, and you realize you are no longer in control. You did this, and the game will remember. Most games, you can clear your save and start again, but not Undertale. New little bits of dialogue will start appearing on all further runs that will let you know that the game remembers what you did, and will always remember. No matter how many times you replay the game, you killed all of the characters, all of the monsters, all of the people, and you chose to do that, and the game isn't going to let you forget about that. The reason I haven't, and probably will never do a genocide run, and have only looked up playthroughs of it online, is because I really don't want to kill all of these characters. These are some of the most likable characters in any media ever, in my opinion, and I'm not going to kill all of them just to get a different ending and ruin all the nice and good feelings I have for them. Besides, I cried when I played through this game and saw the full pacifist ending, because I did that, not someone else, me. Side note, I originally wasn't going to include that I cried during the ending, but it's not like making analytical video essays about Undertale is going to get me any pussy anyways, so what the hell. If anyone ever tells me that video games aren't art and they are a waste of time, I'm going to kidnap them, hold their family hostage, and force them to play this game. This is my main example of video games being art, and they're going to know it. This also isn't like an experience you can recreate in any other medium other than video game. Not a book or a movie or a choose your own adventure book can really recreate what this game does. This is not my favorite game, but I would say it's one of the few perfect ones. I can't think of a single negative thing about this game, and I just spent like 3 hours writing this script, and also like 6 hours recording my voice lines, and God knows how long editing this thing up. And that's a lot of time to think of a flaw. And I couldn't come up with one, so I don't really know how to sell you on this anymore. Do yourself a favor and play this game. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to record an outro so that the pipe bomb in my possession doesn't fucking kill me. After beating Undertale, I have to say, it is a game worth sending death threats over. The characters are written brilliantly, the story had me at tears at some points, and with all this completed, I think I'm out of the woods with the council. I should be expecting a package from them very soon indeed. You know, this might be another death threat, but you gotta look on the bright side. Very few people receive 2 death threats in one day. Congratulations, you have completed the assignment we have put you up to. As a result of this, we have deactivated the pipe bomb in your possession. We expect you to mail that back to us in the next few days. All is forgiven. Also, did you know that we have a golden gamer card available? All you have to do is follow this link and play and make video essays about every single one on the list. Sincerely, the Council. What the hell? This is just a list of every single video game ever made. So you're telling me if I played and made video essays on every single video game ever made, I'd be awarded with the Golden Gamer Certificate? Pfft, that's ridiculous. Who would ever do that? But you know, I don't have any plans on Tuesday.